All right, boys, today we're doing something a little different. Every season, you guys ask about the mods I use, the gear, the wash plants, the trucks, the whole setup that makes this mine run the way it does. So today I'm pulling back the curtain. I'm showing you every single mod I use in my gold mining operation, how we run them, how we set them up, and where you can grab most of the mods yourself. So some of these mods are a work in progress. Some of these mods are private. Some of these mods were sent to me on Discord. We're also going to be doing a mod spotlight for Joe, aka Jbloch Modding. He's made a bunch of mods specifically for this channel and for the purposes of our roleplay. So buckle up, grab your coffee, and let's get into the full gold mining mod showcase for Farming Simulator 25. So we're going to start off down here with this 03 to 08 Dodge. I absolutely love this truck. I told Joe that this was my favorite pickup truck of all time, and lo and behold, he shows up with this beauty. So this is the 03 to 08 Ram. It's got a Cummins in it. We'll hop into the shop and I will show you guys all the options with this bad boy. So I think by the time this video comes out, Joe will have all these out on his itch.io page. I will link that down in the description. So we got a couple engine setups. We've got a 215 horse, 450, and 1000. The 1000 is a little hard to manage there, boys. So, you know, if you choose that one, good luck. Got a bunch of different wheel options. Probably the best thing for you guys to do is to download this and go through all the different wheel setups. We're kind of just going to race through them here real quick. But there are a bunch of wheels for this truck. Pretty much anything you can think of. We got an offset option if you guys are into that. All right, here's where we get into some stuff that you got to match up. So I'm not a big fan of these 03 to 05 headlights. I'm more of a fan of the 06 to 08. I think it might be 08. 07 and a half, whatever. So you can change the grill. Late third gen, go with that one. And then the front bumper. So you got a bunch of different front bumper options. You got 6th gen, 6th gen, 4th gen, and 3rd gen, early and late. So then we get into the bed type. So this truck does have a service function that I will show you guys in just a second. You have to pick the correct bed for it. So you're going to need to go over to the construction bed, and then under bed options, you need to scroll over to construction bed recovery and service. So this is going to give you the ability to have a service function on this truck. I'll show you as soon as we get done looking at everything else. Got some step options, window tint, auxiliary lights. That Domino's thing is absolutely hilarious. Hood stack, a couple of different bed stack options, axle dump, and the factory. I like this look the best. Got some rear hitch options and then some antennas, sticker options. You know, we got a bunch of sticker options there. Front vanity tag, a couple of different ones. We're gonna do it for Dale. And then winch front and back. The winch is fully operational. We'll talk about the better winch mod here in a minute, and then you can change the color of just about anything. So that is the Ram. Let's go over here and look at the service bed function. So if you walk up here to the driver's side rear door, it's going to give you an option up there in the top left for a activate service function. We're going to hit the M key, and that's going to open this up. It's going to put a little area right here that you can drive into. All you're going to do is drive whatever you need to service into this little service area right here. And it's going to give you an option. Let's see if we can do it here. Let's pull this in here. So you're going to pull this up in here. It's going to turn blue. Walk up here and it will give you, I think you might need to be standing right here next to the door. Anyway, it says up there, workshop, open vehicle options. You're going to hit the R key and it's going to bring you to this. You can go back in and customize whatever you want. And let's just say we want to change type 5 to none. Customize. It's basically just a workshop, so you could take it back in there. So absolutely love this truck. I drove one of these in high school. Love this truck. While we got it right here, this is our fuel truck. I've already done a mod video with this in it, but we can go over it again. Just your basic fuel truck setup. Yeah, hauls fuel. Go refuel your equipment on the mine site. Everything works. We got our flashers, the beacons, headlights, all that cool stuff. You can drop your lift axle, Pretty straightforward. When Joe modded this, there was one other option in the game. Well, I guess two options in the game. Joe has been modding since November of last year. So what is that? 10 months? 11 months. So yeah, he kind of just takes pieces from different mods, smashes them together for whatever we need and whatever he wants to create. So you guys are here to bitch in the comments about that. You know, we don't want to hear it because we don't give a shit. If there's something that I need for my YouTube channel or my mine site, then, you know, I ask Joe if he can make it for me. And if he can, he makes it. So you got a bunch of different options for this. You could change the wheels, a bunch of different wheel options, bumpers, grills, stacks, visors, hood ornaments. This one's my personal favorite. You got the bull horns, cab panels. You got your CB antennas, cab lights. I personally like the Type 5. I think that looks pretty neat. So yeah, that's about all there is to it for that one. You can go over here to these trailers. These were in a previous mod video. They're basically just transport trailers. The Kawasaki loader, had this one for a while. This was converted over from 22. I love this loader. This is my personal favorite. Got a couple of different buckets for it that come with it. I think we got a 10,000, a 15,000, and a 20,000 liter bucket. This one's a high tip. The 20,000 is a high tip. I don't think there's any options in the store, so I'm not going to bother with that. But next up, we got our Volvo dump truck. Pretty self-explanatory. We can hop in the shop. There's a couple of different customizable options for this. You can change the stacks, change the bed color. He did put chrome beds on the pups, so you can have chrome beds if you want that, kind of like a polished aluminum look. We got two different pups here. We got a 35,000 and a 20,000, and then the dump truck is a 35,000. Got some different engine options. 605 all the way up to 1200. Wheels, got some different wheel options. And then I think this is kind of just base game stuff that Joe put a dump bed on. So change the stacks, like I was saying. The box color, we can go with a chrome box if we want to, as well as, you know, it's got the same options for the wheels, and then changing the color for the beds on the pups as well. Up next, we have our Volvo VNX heavy haul truck. So this one is you kind of got to know a couple of things about before you start hauling shit with it. So this one has some different engine options. You got base, FDR, or the spicy tune. The best thing that you're going to do if you want heavy haul is the FDR engine. We're going to change our wheel brand to the Lizard brand. That kind of just jacks the truck up a little bit. You can't change the wheels with the Lizard brand. And then I go tried them long, but there's a couple of different chassis configurations. I just go with chassis long, and then it's got the same customizable stuff. You can put a headache rack on it. Couple of different headache rack options. Let's go hop in the truck and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So if we start the truck up, you're going to need to use Easy Dev controls. Easy Dev is one of the mods that I'm going to tell you guys about when we get into my mod folder, but you're going to need Easy Dev controls. You're going to want to go into your control panel, whatever that keybind is, and you're going to go to the vehicle tab. We're going to want to make sure our control group is on the tractor before we go in there. And then the fill levels, we're going to want to go over to fill unit number 4, which is water. That's just going to add weight to the vehicle. And we're going to want to fill it all the way up. That is going to make it so this vehicle is really heavy and it's not going to want to tip over. Because if you don't do that, some weird stuff happens to the vehicle when you're trying to haul stuff. Now that we got that out of the way, we're going to talk about this trailer. This trailer is a brand new addition. I got it 10 minutes before I started recording this video. So let's hop in the truck and we'll unfold it. We're going to want to select the trailer in our control group, hit X. It's going to unfold the trailer down to a super wide configuration. So this trailer is pretty neat in the fact of there's not very many wide trailers in the game or in the modding community. So this thing is extra wide, dude. We need something extra wide for this. You got a pintle hook on the back. This trailer is going to be real nice, not just for mining, but like when you're farming. If you want to go transport your like mowing swather, those things are wide as hell, and there's really not a good trailer in the game for it to transport them. So this is going to fill that hole that we have in the mods. for that kind of a transport. So I haven't really messed around with this thing too much. Let's go ahead and load this poke lane on there. I know things are going to be off a little bit. Like nobody's going to be putting, I don't even know what this weighs in real life. It's got to be over 100 tons, right? But no one's going to put that on the 3-axle transport. But just for the sake of showing you guys that it can haul super wide stuff. How do we drop that back? I haven't even messed around with this thing very much. Go get this bad boy loaded up. It's kind of risky for Joe for me just like hopping in here and doing this without even testing it, but hopefully it all goes well. So far, so good. So we're fairly even. Probably could get that a little bit straighter, but that should be fine. Get this down so it kind of looks right. Okay, we're gonna go and strap this down. It doesn't look like I can really get in there to do those other straps, so you're probably just gonna have to like hop in the truck and hit L to strap everything down. The reason you're going to want to go with an FDR engine and the FDR setup is if you go and hook this up to a different semi, I can almost guarantee you that it's not going to want to go anywhere. This thing pulls it pretty easy, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about with like wanting the truck to be real heavy and the FDR power and everything. If you were to take a regular truck and then we were just to like stop right about here, probably not going to get going again. This thing, you know, if we get right here, forget about it, dude. We're not going anywhere. But this truck pulls it up real nice. So that's basically it on the Volvo. Again, all of this is more than likely going to be up on, I know that most of this is, the Dodge should be up there, all the trailers, the fuel truck, the Cowie, and this Volvo and the K20 are all up there. The only one that probably won't be there is the Hitachi, and we'll talk about that in a second. So, the Hitachi. I was running this Hitachi, and I told Joe that I really liked it, loved the way that it drove. All you know, I love this Hitachi. Pops loves it, but I just wish that I could change the bucket out on it, because before when this first came out, I think I had a pretty big bucket on it and I wanted something smaller. So I asked him if he could put a different bucket on it, and this is what he came up with. So this will attach to, I don't think it'll attach to every bucket in the game, but just about every bucket of the game. It'll attach to all of the buckets that the Cowie will attach to. So, yeah. The reason why it probably won't be out is because I think Joe reached out to FS Minor, and FS Minor, I can't remember how it went. He either didn't respond or he told Joe to go f*** himself. So, I don't know if Joe's going to be putting it out. But if he does, then, you know, this guy's going to have to deal with it, I guess. I don't know. So the last one in the showcase, and then we'll get to the mining stuff, is the K20. This thing is pretty rowdy. This thing is pretty rowdy. It looks sick. It's got a Cummins in it. You got the Chuck Hater pipe coming out the side, and it's got dynamic suspension out the ass, dude. So Joe is big on dynamic suspensions. If there's anything that he ever mods, you can almost guarantee that it's going to have some kind of a dynamic suspension. Oh, I forgot about the T800. The T800's over on the mine side. I'll have to show you guys that in a minute. But yeah, dynamic suspension. This truck, go in here to the store. I'm not going to go over all the options because there are way too many of them. So it's got a bunch of different engine combinations, power levels. The wheels are, he has too many, in my opinion, too many wheels. I get anxiety just going in here and like seeing all the different wheel combinations. Wheel offset suspensions, you got dually set up, different beds, bunch of different bed options. So you can have a camper shell, there's the dually, different exhausts, right? You got the chuck hater pipe, fender dump, stock, front bumpers, welder bed, different. I mean, you're gonna have to go through and change if you want. It's completely customizable. You can add a whole bunch of crap to this thing. Farm beds, right? Good. Farm bed. You got stickers. You even added like a high-speed hole puncher up there. So if you guys are cool with that, dude, you can have a pew-pew up there on the friggin' roof. And then attachers, gooseneck, drop hitch. Let's go hop in that T800 over there. We'll fly over there real quick. I just got my hands on this T800 and this thing is freaking sick, dude. I know that going forward in the future, there's going to be different frame options. So he made this a 4-wheel drive. It's got a transfer case and, well, I guess it's a 6-wheel drive. There's a transfer case up there. Full dynamic suspension. We'll get into the different options in the shop when we get in there. So this winch bed on the back, fully usable. Yeah, he added a whole bunch of stuff. It's got ramps on the back. I'll show you guys this. The suspension goes down. So if we want to see here. Man, this course play is just kicking my ass right now, dude. So you look at this and you're like, there's no way, dude. There's no way. Well, we got ramps on this thing, so. That up there, we'll deal with course play again, raise the suspension back up, and away we go. There is, like I was saying, fully dynamic suspension. I can show you guys that right now. That's not a really good test of it. Let's go. You know what? We'll set up an obstacle course real quick. How about that? So this is what I'm talking about with the dynamic suspension. I mean, pretty handy. You're not going to want to drag a trailer through that shit, but, you know, pretty neat. We got all this stuff works. He put me some purple Hooer lights on the back of this thing, so that's pretty rad. You know, old school trucker shit. Inside the cab, the seat goes up and down. Let's see. The seat goes up and down, so that's pretty cool. So this is what it looks like in the shop. I don't know what this is about. So I don't run a license plate on my truck anyway. So I don't really worry about that. But got some engine setups. So you get into the wheel setups, you know, you got the sky's the limit. Hoods, I like this kind of C500 short nose high hood. Got different visors, exhausts, mud flaps. Headache rack. We got the Gladiator rack and then some other headache racks. And that about does it for the mod showcase. So everybody go follow Joe on his itch page. He slapped some pretty cool stuff together. So he's, you know, keep an eye out for that. Let's get right into the mining side of everything. So I think the best thing to do is probably to start from digging the hole in the ground and moving towards the wash plant. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to fly over here to where I have my terraform set up. So the best thing for you guys to do is probably just to go to realisticgamingcrew.com. It'll be linked in the description. And I think you can download everything that you need right from there as far as getting started on gold mining. The first one you're going to need is terraform. So we're going to go into the shop here. If I can get my fat ass out of this hole. And I'll show you guys what that looks like. So you go to terraform. And there's going to be the survey tool. We're going to just buy one for the hell of it. Okay, I'll show you guys what that looks like. It's going to show up in this thick case right here. And if you walk up to it, I don't know if it walks. Okay, if you walk around anywhere around the case, you can unfold it. And we're going to hit B to unfold the surveyor. Okay. The way that I do this is I just go into, I go in here to the construction, and this is the way I do it. Technically you could do it with a machine, but I just go in here and I dig a hole. Make it a little bit bigger. Right. And I figure out the depth I want to go to, go in here, flatten it out, get me a good little flat area down there. It's basically the same, right? So take your surveyor tool, pick it up, put it in the hole. Now, we're just going to go over, I know there's a ton of stuff you can do with Terraform that I don't use it for, that I might use it for in the future. I'm just showing you guys what I know and how I do what I do. You're going to walk up here to your survey tool and you're going to hit R. That's going to bring us into this menu, and then we're going to hit calibrate. And I think this is basically just setting the level here, right? So we're just going to go over here, set it on a level surface. I know if you, I've messed around with it a little bit. If you go up to here, you can set a angle, a grade angle, but I don't really use that. So we're just going to set that, and then we're going to hit apply. So that's going to set this angle right here. We're just going to be digging flat, set level, and now this survey tool is set up to grade at this level. I think you can go in here. Yeah, you can name the survey tool. So we're just going to set this one as test. Firm. Okay, so that's where we're going to be digging down to when we hop in our machine, and we got to calibrate our machine that we're using our excavator for that test survey tool right there. So we'll fly over here to our excavator, hop in it. Now, you can't use Terraform on every single piece of equipment that's ever been modded for Farming Simulator 25. That piece of equipment needs to have Terraform in the mod itself. So where that's going to be is in the edge that's going to be touching the ground, which in this case, it's going to be the bucket. I don't think it's going to be the excavator itself, because if we choose our control group, if we hit the G key and change our control group, we're going to lose our down arrows on this bucket right here. And that's what you're going to want to see for Terraform. So if your piece of equipment doesn't have it, I'll show you guys an example of that. So we'll hop in this loader right here, and this bucket does not have Terraform enabled on it. All this can do is pick up material that has already been placed on the ground. So like this pay dirt's already been dug. It's been placed on the ground. Any kind of like corn, silage, dirt over there, stones, whatever, you name it. If it doesn't have the downward arrows, it doesn't have Terraform. So now we're going to get into how do we set up our machine for Terraform. There is a Terraform control setting in the controls. We go down here to our settings, controls, Terraform. Here we go. There is a Terraform menu. So activate the machine, toggle the input, toggle the output. The way to get in there is to hit Y. I think that's just like the regular old setting, is to hit Y. But if it's not Y, go into your controls menu, change the keybind to whatever. So now that we're in the machine settings, okay, this is, I don't really change anything other than the material. So I have it set as pay dirt right now. If we go into change material and you want to change it to dirt, you can change it to dirt, whatever you want. This is the material settings. Dirt is not automatically, I don't believe it's automatically in here. So if there is something that you're looking for, check right here and it might be disabled. So there is that. We are going to want to be digging pay dirt, so that's what we're going to select. You can change the texture after you dig into the ground. You can change the texture that you want. So we have it set up as gravel dirt. I set it as that just because I want it to kind of look like what I'm digging on the surface. So that's what I have mine set to. We're going to go back into the Y menu. The first thing I should have done was I should have calibrated my machine to that survey tool out there. I have a bunch of different survey tools all around here, but looks like it didn't save our name. But overburden is what I've been digging, so we're just gonna go here to our test. Pretend that said test. And so we've got it calibrated to the one that we just set up. We're gonna go in here to landscaping. You can change these ones. I would recommend these settings. And then this is your strength. No, it's not. Down here is your strength multiplier and stuff like that. It automatically, I believe, comes at 0.25 or 0.5. And I set mine to 1. I'll just show you guys what that looks like at 0.25. So another thing we're going to want to do is, you see up there, it says toggle input mode on the left. And it's set up as the comma key. If you look over here to your right now and you hit the comma key, over here where it says terraform, it says lower, paint, material, or grade. We want it set to grade if we're going to be digging down to a specific layer. That's what I have mine set up to. Everything else is set up as you can see there. Now, if I try to dig in the ground right now, nothing is going to happen. We're not going to get anything out of the ground. We will be able to pick up that loose material right there because it's already been dug. There's a little bit of loose material right there, but we're not going to be able to get anything out of the ground. So what we need to do is we need to activate the machine. You can see up there, you can see up there on the left corner, it says activate machine, like 2/3 of the way down. We're going to hit our O key. And now we can dig down to that specified level of the survey tool where we set the level grade. We have our terraform mode as grade. It's set up, it's calibrated with the survey tool, and we can dig down. This is at 0.25 strength level, and it takes way too long. Nobody in real life is like gonna sit here and just wait for the ground to disappear. So what I do is I go back in here, I hit the Y key, and I change these to 1. You just hit 1, enter, go down to hardness, delete these, 1, enter, hit back. Now we should be able to dig straight down and not have to sit around and wait for 20 minutes for the material to get in our bucket. This is just going to go straight down, dude, and it can be a rodeo. Like, it can definitely be a rodeo sometimes, depending on the bucket. But if you're quick and smooth, you shouldn't have a problem. You can sit here and dig all day long. Would highly recommend a dual joystick setup for this. Doing this on a controller, you're not going to be having a good time. I can link the controllers that I use in the description, but that's basically all there is to Terraform. I can go through and show you guys what happens if you just hit lower. So we're going to hit our comma key. We can actually smooth it out. I can show you what that looks like. So that's basically just going to kind of smooth that edge out like you're using a construction tool in your construction menu. If we go over to lower, this is just going to friggin' send us straight to China, dude. Like, this is going to keep digging. We can go over and I can show you guys our where we have it set to grade. So if we have it set to grade, we're going to hit this area right here, and it's not going to go anywhere. You're just going to hit right there, and it's going to stop. Okay? I'll move some of this material here real quick and show you guys. We'll get a little area cleared out, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So we got kind of a little bit of a clear area there, right? I'm going to switch this over to lower, and we're just going to keep digging, boys. This thing is just going to keep going down and down and down like the Ring of Fire that Johnny Cash sings about. We're going to keep digging until this arm will not go down any further. We're going to keep digging a friggin' hole, dude. We're going to dig ourselves a hole so deep it's like we're shooting our mouth off in front of our wife. You're just going to keep digging down and digging down and digging down. So we've gone down a little bit there. I think that's all there is to it with Terraform. This mod right here is the Cat 395. This was made by Petey. He works over there with RGC. Bunch of different options here. Different bucket sizes. Now I try to keep my role plays, let's just say air quotes, realistic, right? The chances of seeing one of these 830s on a gold mine site, probably not, right? But I try to keep the proportions somewhat correct, right? So I don't want, this is a fairly, it looks kind of like a smaller bucket, right? It's not massive, but it's not tiny. I try to keep it so that if I go and I dig a hole and I have material, if I'm digging material, I don't want to drop one bucket in something that's massive and have it fill up one bucket's worth of material into a massive haul truck. You know, I want to make it so we kind of got to work for it. This bucket is never in real life going to fill up this haul truck with 1 or 2 buckets. It's going to be a whole bunch of buckets. So that's as far as realism goes. That's kind of where we're at on our series. There's a whole bunch of interactive controls with this excavator that you can go through if you're into extreme realism. You guys want to service your equipment, you guys can walk around here and there is a ton of compartments that you can open on this thing. It is absolutely insane the amount of detail and effort that went into this excavator. There is a cool feature here. If you want to go into transport mode, you walk up here to this nod right here and you can click that and it will bring the tracks in so that it's not such a wide track and it'll fit on most lowboy trailers, especially that new one that we got over there. You could wide track this bitch all day long and it's going to fit on there. So inside the cab, right, you can actually change the terraform stuff inside this cab. There's my lean. That's going to change. I don't even know. I haven't messed with these. So that's going to be your discharge. Yeah, you can go and do all the terraform menu stuff in there. That's terraform on and off. That takes away the HUD. You can open the door. Let me lean back in here. You can open and close the door. Shit. So let's hop back in here. If we want to open the door, I don't think you can close it though. Doesn't look. Oh yeah, you can. Hell yeah, dude. So if you're one of them dudes that want to run your excavator with the door open, dude, you can totally do that. The haul trucks are FS miners. We got the poke lane over here. This is Pop's machine. If you guys have watched the series, he loves this thing. Over here we've got our fuel truck. That's Austin's truck. There's my baby. We've got this service truck from RMC. Those guys are solid as shit over there as well. They make really cool shit. A D7 over there is FS Miner. We got our Cowie. The John Deere is something that I just added, and I think, God, I could be wrong on this. You know what? I'm not gonna botch who made this thing. I'm not gonna tell you guys it was one person and then I have it be another. Just Google 844 John Deere loader for FS25 and it should come up. I think it might be RMC. I could be wrong though. If it's not RMC, I really apologize to whoever it is. This loader right here, get to it. So yeah, this loader right here, it's got a couple of different wheel setups on it. You got Logger, Megas, Earth Max, Agri Max, Standard. So this is a really solid loader. I like it a lot. It works with, I think it works with Joe's buckets. I'm not sure. But it also does come. It also does come with some more realistic loaders. Like I said, these are a little too small for what I want to do with my role play, but I do try to keep the proportions as close as I can. So got a Volvo high tip bucket on it right now. All right, so we've already gone over the Hitachi. Here's another couple of buckets. These 637 scrapers are, I believe these are Nonus from Patreon, and I know everybody's going to roll their fucking eyes when I say Patreon right now, but these are paid mods. But the dude only charges $1 per month for access to his mods. I think that's a hell of a deal, considering you're going to get scrapers and you're going to get a wash plant and all that fun shit. So these have Terraform enabled as well. So as you can see, we've got the arrows right down there. It's the same thing as the excavator that we were just talking about. You go in here, you can change it. You can set your level. You can calibrate it to a survey tool. That's what I was doing when I was removing the overburden from this cut. All I did was I went down, I dug down about that much, maybe 10 inches or so, and then set level for that, and then just started giving her hell across this cut with those scrapers. And then ended up unloading them along the side of the cut. Mainly for, I don't even know, aesthetic purposes or whatever, and to kind of make it a pain in my ass. The other thing is, in our series, like, I try to make things a pain in the ass so that I get like raw, pissed off, irritated emotion. I'm not ever really pissed off, but I'm like, God damn it, dude, are we done yet? Like, are we done with this shit yet? Seriously, we just want to start mining some gold. That's why stuff like that's there, is to kind of just make it feel more real for me and Pops, and try to get a little bit more content for you guys. So this hopper feeder setup is from RGC as well. You can get the wash plant, the stacker conveyor, and the hopper conveyor, as well as the terraform. You're going to need interactive control, material processor mod, a bunch of stuff from these guys to get this to work correctly. So we can start off right here. This is the key. You can start it right here, right? This pops up here for, you know, checking. Hey man, we need to check the oil or whatever the fuck you want to do. So it's got a bunch of interactive controls on it. And then you can also, here's the control box. So if we want to turn on the conveyors, right? Turn on the screen deck, that's going to give us water. Yep, that's going to give us water. So that's basically going to turn the wash plant on so that it can start running material. You can jump up here and then hit your conveyor, and that's going to start running the conveyor to get rid of the tailings. But I don't think it's going to run unless we have material in there. And the fuck is this not working? Hey guys, I'm editing this video right now, and I just want to make a couple of things perfectly clear. There is nothing wrong with this wash plant. The reason why some of this stuff isn't going to work right now is because I have a couple of mod conflicts going on at the moment. I had all of the mods enabled on my PC when I was recording this. There ended up being a mod conflict, which is why the conveyor isn't working. I took the save from my server and put it into a career save. All the mods were enabled. So I'm going to end up cutting to going into my server where I only have my mining mods enabled, and everything's going to work fine. I think I still might have 1 or 2 mod conflicts on my server. So what I had to end up doing was going and entering the wash plant like it's a vehicle and hitting Control I to unload, and the conveyors ended up working. So I hope that makes sense. Whenever you have a problem with any of these machines, it's always best to get in RGC's Discord. Those guys are super helpful, and they will help you get anything sorted out when it comes to their equipment. So sorry for the confusion, but that was a mess up on my part. All right, there we go. I must have had a conflicting mod or something. I was in a career save. I just went to my server. Anyway, you're gonna have that with some of this equipment. Is some of it's not gonna work because of a fill type issue, something like that. The best thing to do is don't ask me, because I have no fucking idea. The best thing to do is to ask the people that made it, and that would be RGC's Discord. Those guys are very helpful in there. If you guys have an issue, 99 times out of 100, they're going to be able to fix it or help you fix it. Well, they're not going to fix it. You're going to fucking fix it. They'll just help you fix it. We'll just fire these up real quick. These all have interactive control as well. So we're gonna go start, stop, conveyor. We'll run around to the hopper. One thing I have noticed is that, at least in the multiplayer server that we run in, is this thing resets and drops down into this conveyor all the time. So one thing you're gonna need to do is start it, and if you walk up here to the side, hit E, you can come in here and change the conveyors. And you just basically, every time I log into the server, I've just got to come in here and reset the conveyor height. This conveyor has an anchor, so if you walk up here and you press anchor, this thing's not going to move. This one, to my knowledge, doesn't have one, but Slucifer also has one, and it is right there. So if I were to hit Slucifer with something right now, or accidentally walk up with super strength and try to pick it up, it's not going to move. At least it's not going to move very far. If you don't have your anchors down, good luck. So let's go hop in a loader, hop in this one. And that's the other thing we got to talk about. In the I think this is an RGC mod in their downloadable mods that you need to run all this stuff. Everybody's asking about this mud. It is a paint type. So if I go in here, hit the construction tab, go down to sculpting and stuff, and you go over here to painting, there's different ground types that you can paint onto the ground, and this one is mud. So all I did was I came in here for roleplay purposes. When it's raining, I just come in here and I make this all mud to make it a pain in our ass so that we can entertain you guys. But for the sake of this, we're going to come in here and change it back to dirt gravel. Come in here and make this all not a pain in my ass so that I can show you guys how this works. The other thing that I did, I had some people asking about the mud when I got stuck in the pickup truck over there. All I did was I just came in here with a massive tractor off camera, and I friggin' plowed all of this, dude. Like I came in here, I took a plow literally and plowed this, used the create field option on the tractor and the plow, and I made this all a field with a plowed texture so that we would have some major shit go down when we tried to come in here. So that's how you make mud, is you can either use the mud painting ground texture, or you can just come in and plow everything with an actual plow, an in-game plow, and you will get stuck. So let's hop back into the loader. This hopper right here, for most of the loaders that I have, if you don't have a high tip bucket, that hopper is too big. It's too tall. So what I had to do was I had to dig down and put that hopper down into the ground to make it easier for us to dump into it. And I made some just purely for decoration, put some that's gonna be in the next video right there. Apparently, air quotes, I was drinking Michelob Ultras while I was making this cinder block wall here, and that's why it's crooked. This is a ramp pack. So I went and I dug out all the way around here, placed this ramp, filled it back in with the construction sculptor is all I did. All I did was I went in here, I used the sculpting tool, leveled this out, dropped this down in here, and dropped a ramp. This ramp right here. That's all I did. And then I just came back in and took this leveled this back out, softened it up a little bit with this tool, all I did, and made it so it was a lot easier for Pops and Austin to get pay dirt into the hopper. So we got pay dirt in the hopper. Come in here to discharge. That's going to turn that conveyor on. You're going to start to see it walk up there. You've already got this conveyor on. Turn all your conveyors on. It's going to start dropping pay dirt up into the pre-wash. It's going to get washed through the wash plant, down the sluice boxes. You're going to have fines come out right here, fine tailings, and then your coarse tailings are going to come out on this conveyor. Once you hit what the fuck, I'm glitching like crazy. Once you hit a specific height level for this fill type, it's going to stop. So you're going to want to keep up on tailings, even though this thing should pile up all the way up there to the top. It's going to stop somewhere. Shit, I think it stops somewhere around here. And it's going to stop filling. Your production's going to stop. Eventually, it's going to fill up your pre-wash with pay dirt, which is going to fill this conveyor up. It's going to fill this conveyor up, which has a massive capacity in it. Eventually, you're going to be like Pops, and essentially everything's going to be full, and you're going to go to dump a bucket full of pay dirt into this hopper, and it's not going to accept it. And then I'm going to have to come over and, you know, whoever you're playing with, if it's yourself, I generally run over to Pops, start yelling at him, make it all about him, never my fault. If you're playing by yourself, you know, you're going to have a whole lot of self-hatred and self-loathing going on because you're going to feel like a dumbass. I can guarantee it. So make sure everything's on, your tailings are getting cleared, and you can't mix fill types. If you try to go scoop a bucket of this and you get all of it and you have a little room left in your bucket and you try to scoop this, you're not going to be able to, because in this game, for some damn reason, you're not able to mix fill types, which is, I don't even know, but should be able to. Don't know why you can't. Maybe make it like a gravel. Maybe we should just be able to mix a little bit of this and a little bit of this and make gravel. I don't know. That's basically what you're making though. So over here we've got this, I guess I probably should show you guys the D11. We got this D11 here. It's got terraform. It's got a winch on the back. So this is what we pulled bad action over here, aka Slucifer with. Slucifer has hook points on that ring right there. You can also loop it around here somewhere. I don't know. Also got a pull point right here on this ring. So I've got the D11 with that winch on the back. I do believe this is RMC's. Let me see here. We got PD built the excavator, RGC conveyors, Slucifer wash plant. Yeah, I do believe that RMC made this D11, but I think this might be the RGC edit. Can't remember. It comes with a ripper on the back that also has terraform on the ripper. So in the shop, let's pull up the D11. So you can buy it, you know, all together with all the pieces already set up. You could change a couple of things there, or you can buy it piece by piece if you want to put it together yourself. You're going to need a crane to do that. I haven't taken the time to even try it, but you're definitely going to need a crane to put this on if you're going to try to do it realistic. You could just grab it and fly up there if you really wanted to, but you know, probably just best to buy the whole thing. So I think that's about it for the mods that I have out right now. We can go over here and talk about the gold room that everybody's been asking about. I've had a ton of people ask me about this gold room over here. This gold room is strictly decorational. It's strictly for decoration. This gold room does absolutely nothing other than give us a roleplay opportunity to have goldways. Joe built this gold room for me. Jbloch built this gold room for me. He built this table. I sent him pictures, told him what I wanted, said I wanted it in a Connex container with a gold jig. He's like, what the fuck's a gold jig? So I sent him a picture and he built all of this. So some of this stuff is taken from other mods, but to my knowledge, that gold jig is nobody else has one. So at least nobody has one out. I haven't seen one, and I looked for a very long time to try to find that stuff. This over here is some kind of generator that Joe built. I don't even know what the hell this thing does. I don't even know if he knows what the hell this thing does, but This is just an easy place for us to sell our gold. This is like behind the scenes shit that you guys will never see in a video, but that's where we sell our gold. Got the RAM charger. Pretty sure that's a leaked mod that was sent to me on Discord, so, you know, good luck finding that. I think this was too, and this was too. So, no, I don't make the fucking rules. So right now, I think I've covered just about. Oh, I haven't. We got to talk about the Brant Lowboy. So this is another RMC mod. So this is the Brant H550 Lowboy. It's got a ton of stuff that comes with it. You got your general Lowboy here. You can hook onto it. Well, I guess you could build this all out, but those two are basically that. Got a beaver tail. Anyway, there's a beaver tail version. You can get a Jeep for it, as well as you can get 2 booster axles and a stinger. So I think this booster goes on first. Yeah, this booster goes on first after the trailer, and then the stinger comes out off of the back of the first booster and connects to the second booster. So you can get some oversized signs. There's a Canadian one, some American ones, and flags, fender covers. You can also get this as a crane support. So a crane hauler, fold outs. All that does is fold these sides out. Still not quite wide enough for what I want to do with it, but I kind of just had to make it work. Oh, the other thing on that Lowboy that Joe sent me, I'm on a different server right now, so I don't have it in here, but if you go back and look at that Lowboy that Joe sent me with my logo on it, he was telling me that Slucifer has an attach point on the bottom of it if you go look at it in the i3D file or whatever, so it helps stay on that Lowboy better. I'm gonna have to try that out maybe. So let's go in and look at all of my mods that I have on here for the YouTube videos that you guys see all the time. So I'm basically just going to show you guys all of my mods. So I'll just scroll through them. If you guys want to stop at any point and Google it, I'm going to give you guys general websites on where I find my mods. I'm never going to give out a mod folder. The reason why is not because I'm a stingy bastard. I would love to give you guys a mod folder. It's to protect my ass. The last thing I would ever want is a 14-year-old to download a Google Drive folder, and then, you know, they get on the old P-Hub or whatever. Their mom starts yelling at them. And they say, oh, it was from 37's Plays. It was from Chuck at 37's Plays. He gave me a virus, and now there's a bunch of corn on my computer. No, dude, that's not ever going to happen. You guys are smart. I'm a dumbass. If I can figure out how to find these mods, I guarantee you everybody else can too. All you got to do is stop the video. If you want the 2006 Ford F350, Google 2006 Ford F350 FS25 mods. If you want you're not going to find that. That one's a leaked one. If you guys want the D3 midsize dozer, Google Cat D3G midsize dozer. This is not hard. I understand. I could give it out. I'm not going to. It's to protect my ass. I don't need people giving me shit because they downloaded the wrong shit from the wrong place. By the way, even the websites that I'm about to link in the description, be careful where you download your mods from. I don't want you to brick your computer. I don't want to brick my computer. I'm very careful of the websites that I download mods from. You're going to hear, don't download from this website, only download from this website. I'm not going to say any of that. I'm going to tell you where I get my mods from, most of them. Some of these you're not going to find because they were literally leaked mods sent to me in Discord. I'm not going to say no to that. So, what else? Some of the stuff that we used over at Joe's, this A40G, this is from Nonus Patreon as well. Yeah, I don't have very many mods in this YouTube series. I think there's like 100 and something, 140 or something is it. We can back out let's back out and I will show you guys. So these are the mods that are vehicles and things like that in the game. There's script mods that I need to show you guys. So we'll hop out and I'll show you guys that real quick. By the way, if you guys download these hoppers and then you go to shut them off and it still sounds like they're running, they just do that. So, all right, so here's some of the stuff that you're not going to see in the video is all decorative foliage, bridge pack. I know some of these are need updates, but it's on a server. Disable vehicle camera, unlimited color configs. Additional game settings. All the ground textures. You're going to need RGC backcountry. So this is an old, I started this series a long time ago. Like I started gold mining when this map came out. So this is an old map that still has fill types and stuff on it. So there is an updated version of this on their website. You're not going to find this exact version on their website. It's outdated, but I already had a mine that was set up, so I'm not going to like take 10 hours out of my life and go try to recreate my mine site on a different map from scratch. So you're not going to find that version on their website, but there is a Terraform version that's essentially the same thing. I have camera zoom. That is for making thumbnails and stuff, but you guys don't really need to give a shit about that. Cat diesel generator. Don't have that one up yet. The content snowblower. That's what I use for blowing snow. And this thing actually does blow snow out the pipe. I did have it set up to where it was just ejecting out of the side out of nowhere, but apparently I was a dumbass and didn't know how to use it. So that does work. It does function as it should. Dashboard live, have that. Decorative objects pack. Decreased reverse beeper. Digital displays, docks placeables. I can't remember if that's an FS Miner or an RGC mod. So we've got the polar tanker. We really didn't talk about that one, but that is, that's our fuel tanker. Easy development controls. You guys are definitely going to need that. Enhanced fill type category. I believe this is the RGC mod. If you do have different fill type mods, they are going to clash. So I would just go with enhanced fill type categories. I think I've also run it with fill types for all or something, and it has worked in the past. But if you're having problems with Slucifer not getting rid of tailings or whatever, it's probably the enhanced fill types. It's the enhanced fill types clashing with another fill type mod. Extended game info display, fast belts. See, I do have it. I have fill types for all version 6.0. This is from Nisch, and it can work together. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know what to tell you guys. We got the floodlight trailer, fog control, free terraform and paint. I've got the FS25 coal plant V3. I think that's Nisch's. So this gold plant right here, this is the Nisch. This is the big red that we were using before Slucifer came out. So that's from Nisch. He did update it. It doesn't shit out tailings like it did before, apparently. Gold processing equipment. This is the gold room. This is a work in progress. Joe is actively working with other people on the script side of things to get this gold room to work as it should. So it actually, you take your concentrate in there, it converts it, it cleans it, and then it spits out gold bottles. Garage menu, that is just basically to search stuff in the garage. HUD hider, let's see, heat preview. This is all kind of stuff that you don't need, right? It's just kind of nice to have. Higher purchasing, That's basically like loan stuff. You can get a loan for 10 years on whatever piece of equipment you're wanting to buy. I use increased fuel prices to try to make it more real. In-game time operating hours. So this mod right here, the in-game time operating hours, is base game. If you run your loader or your piece of equipment and you crank up the speed to 15 times, you're basically going to run an entire day cycle in about an hour of real lifetime. And that piece of equipment is only going to accumulate 1 hour of time on its operating hour meter. So that in-game time operating hours mod is a 1-to-1 of time in the game. So if you run 12 hours at 15 times speed in the game, you're going to accumulate 12 hours of runtime on your piece of equipment. So that's what that mod does. I hope I explained that well. It's not right now. The hour meter on your piece of equipment is tied to physical real life time. So if you can play the game at 60 times speed, but if an hour goes by in real life, your piece of equipment's only going to accumulate an hour instead of 60 hours in game. Interactive control, you have to have this to be able to go around and do shit to your wash plant or any other piece of equipment that has interactive control enabled, like on the excavator, to be able to go and open those doors and all that stuff. Lizard repair ramp. This is basically just a repair shop that looked cool, and it was old. It was one of the first ones, so I've still got it in here. But it is cool to have for roleplay purposes. MCE machinery. This is a category. This is a store category to be able to buy the stuff from Nisch. I've got the Mafia Mods parts room. That's just kind of decorative stuff. Marine mining equipment. This is a barge, a transport, a river transport. Can't remember what else it is. Material processor. You're going to have this to be able to run Slucifer and the conveyor belts. Mining material belt. This is the belt we were using before we got the stuff from RGC that came out. So that is an FS miner. Mining selling points for RGC. That's how you're going to be able to sell stuff with the fill types like the gold and the concentrate and the tailings and stuff like that. More fuel used. I like burning diesel because it makes it feel real and there's kind of like a little more at stake. I wish they would crank this shit up, dude. I want the in-game hour time operator mod or whatever. I want that, but for fuel. So like I want, if I'm running the game at 15 times speed, I want to burn that amount of fuel because it still kind of feels like it's not like that. 120 productions possible. That's an RGC mod. You're going to need that. No restricted fences. Paint and terraform anywhere. I know that there's like another one up above that we just talked about, but this one is different and you're going to need both of them. At least I need both of them. They both do essentially the same thing, but also different things. Placeable mining decorations. I believe that is a FS miner mod. Plastic barrier pack, same thing. Player movement, that is something that Joe gave to me, but it's also obsolete now because of easy dev controls. We got the portable service kit. This is how I would jumpstart stuff before easy dev controls came out. Power tools. I have power tools and easy dev controls. You don't need power tools if you have easy dev. I do. Don't ask me why. I don't have an answer. RGC FS25 edits, you're going to need that from RGC, as well as the RGC Marine Pack and RGC Productions. RGC Productions is going to be your gold room, where you convert your concentrate into gold. So we can go back into the game and I can show you guys that real quick. The ramp pack, real vehicle breakdowns. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about this one, and we'll dive back into this. I know I'm all over the place. I apologize. Just fucking stick with me. Real vehicle breakdowns. This is a mod. It's a script where your equipment breaks down over time. So if you leave your lights on overnight, so let's just say we're done mining for the day, we go back to camp, we bullshit or whatever, and then you wake up in the morning, you fast forward time, you go out to the mine site, Pops leaves the loader lights on, the fucking battery's dead. So now you got to deal with charging the battery. There's a couple of things that can go out. I can't remember them all, but like your thermostat, your battery, you can lose an engine. You have to service your equipment, so you can set a service interval from like 40 hours to 40 hours to 100 hours, and you need to service your piece of equipment in that time or it will start to break down faster. If you go over your service interval, whatever you set it to, I basically just call it oil changes and greases. If you overshoot that, then it takes a lot longer for you to service it. Air quotes, some shit broke down because you didn't service your equipment, so it's going to take longer to service it and it's going to cost you more. It does cost you money to service it, so that's cool as far as a roleplay perspective. I think to service the D11, it's something outrageous like $5,000 or something like that. So that is a pivotal mod if you're going to go for realism. Realistic weather, this is how we get a shitload of snow, tornadoes. You know, I know there's base game tornadoes, but if you're going to use this for something other than mining, like your fields can catch on fire, lots of rain, lots of cold weather, you can have a drought. So droughts can happen. Remember player position. That's just to keep us where we're at. Like, so we don't have to start at the start point of the map every time you log in. Remove front loader axle lock. So this is basically just to make it so you can have more of a dynamic suspension. Repair and paint settings is in the game menu. You can go through and set your paint wear settings, how much it costs to repaint your vehicle, how fast your stuff breaks down. Road kit, we're not going to talk about that. Sim dashboard, this is what I use. I've got a Samsung, like a super cheap Samsung. What even the f are these things called besides, I just call it my Samsung iPad. Tablet, I've got a really cheap Samsung tablet right here next to me that I run my sim dashboard on. What else? Store deliveries are key for us. I'm extremely limited on the time that I have to make these YouTube videos. So like sometimes I can't take 15 extra minutes to go run down to the store to pick up a piece of equipment. It's just a lot faster. You hit a keybind, drops your store point, wherever you want to put it. You can buy equipment and it shows up there. Stuff I've used in the past is this Terex Finley belt pack. Don't really use that anymore. Terraform and Terraform machine add-ons. I think Terraform machine add-ons is obsolete now, but I don't remember. You can get these from RGC. Tip anywhere. That's a good one to have. Tool inclination helper. This one tells you when you have a bucket, if you're level or not, when you're trying to put it on the ground. Towing chain with hook. This one's kind of obsolete now too, because we have better winches, which is going to show up in a second. US construction fence. I was using these ones. I probably need to use them more, just for the aesthetics of the mine site. Unlimited tree planting. This is a good one to have as well. Like I said, we got the the A40, 950. We don't use that one. Wind turbine charging. You're going to have this one for real vehicle breakdowns. I don't know in the latest versions if they have added this to the real vehicle breakdown mod download, but you're going to need that. You have to have it. The only thing I can say is you have to have it. So again, if I can find it, you can find it. It did take a little digging to find that though, and it's going to tell you when you put real vehicle breakdowns in your mod folder. It's going to tell you that you have to have this wind turbine charging, whatever the fuck. And then it just doesn't tell you where to get it. So you're going to have to find it. This better winch. This comes off of itch.io from Thunder. This is how we basically hook up to stuff with our winches to pull us out of shitty situations. This is a banger of a mod. This changed the game 100%. The design kit, not too much to say about that. Incept store extensions. You have to have this. This is the store. This is the store category for the snowblower. So I think that's about it. Let's go hop back in there and I can't even remember what I was going to tell you guys. We'll go over real vehicle breakdowns, repair and paint settings, real vehicle breakdowns, right? We're going to go in here. You have to be in a piece of equipment and you're going to need to know your keybind. I think mine is, so yeah, mine's Alt W. I think I changed it. So you're going to have to look up your keybind for real vehicle breakdowns. So this is what this looks like. You're going to go periodic service. I've got mine set to 100 hours. You can't change the vehicle workshop opening, or you can't change it to where there's no vehicle workshop opening or closing time. There is a vehicle opening and closing time, but you can just set it to as low as you want. You can set it to 7 a.m. and then the latest that you can make it close is 9 p.m. So from 7 to 9, basically the mechanics are on duty. Here's a list of parts that can mess up in real vehicle breakdowns. You got thermostat, lighting, your lights will turn off, glow plugs, wipers, basically the alternator, the generator, the engine can go out, the starter, the battery, and then tires. So you can change how often you want this to fail. You can change whether you want the alert message, vehicle failure. I've got mine set to fast just for, so, you know, shit can hit the fan. And then in your HUD settings too, if you look down there, you've got a temperature gauge and an hour gauge. And when your vehicle's ready for service, the red service light will come on. If it's yellow, that means it's damn close. If it's red, that means that you've exceeded the hour limit on your piece of equipment and you better start going to get it serviced. What that's going to look like for service is, I don't know when's the last time this one was serviced, but we can go over here and I've got a service box out here that we can go drop next to this loader. Get up, you piece of shit. We're going to go set this over here by the loader. If you guys have ever used this tool right here, if you're new to it, you've got to have, this is the back. The back's got to be facing the piece of equipment or it won't work. So see here, it says service 10 out of 100 hours. So it's going to cost $603. It gives you the paint, the condition of the general piece of equipment, and then the battery. So you can also run jumper cables with this to charge your battery, or you can get in here, hit your easy dev controls, go in here to, well, we better make sure we're tabbed over to the machine. Fill level battery, I just fill it that way. I've tried hooking up the jumper cables and it's, I didn't have the patience to wait that long. It was a long ass time, longer than I wanted to wait, so that's just how I do it now. Is if your battery dies, we freak out about it and how whoever left the lights on is a dumbass, and then we just fill it up and say we went and got the jumper cables or my handy dandy jump box, which is a prop now. So All right, this is post-edit Chuck here. There's a couple of things that I forgot to put in the video. Another thing that I'm constantly being asked is how do I get the ponds for my wash plants? So this is what I do. I go and I dig a hole, make a nice little pond there. I think this one already has a pump on it. Yeah, it does. It does have a pump already. So we're just going to delete this. So we've got our hole dug. What we're going to do is we're going to go over here to, where is it? I think it's... Okay, so it's cultivation. So we're just going to go around here, pretend we did it the whole way or whatever, okay? You're just going to make a rice field. Okay, then we're going to come over here. We're going to turn the pump on, flood it. And then to, you know, you come back in here and you can make it deeper. So I just go in here, back into the sculpting tools, lower this. To whatever, just to make it look like it, and eventually it's going to fill up with water. So that's how you do the pond. The other thing that I forgot to show you guys is how you actually get gold out of your concentrate. So I've got this little gem hidden over here. This is the gold production room. This is essentially just a production point. So what you're going to do, let me turn on the markers. So this is where you're going to come and bring your buckets of concentrate. We can go over to Bad Action, aka Slucifer. This thing spawns buckets of pay dirt every, I think it's 7,500 liters. So it's just gonna spawn concentrate buckets right here. I can show you what those look like. It's gonna spawn right here in this spot. You're gonna load these up and take these over to your gold room, the RGC gold room. Basically what you're going to do is just take your bucket of concentrate, bring it right here. It's going to disappear. You can go on either right here, hit R, and it's going to show you your gold room. You can do it this way, or you can go into your menu, go to production chains, gold room, click on gold room, activate. It's going to start running that concentrate. It's going to start counting down and running this through here. You're going to get gold. It's going to be going up in your outgoing. It's going to spawn all the gold jars back in this area. So let's speed time up here a little bit. I'll show you guys what that looks like. So there we go. I just crapped a gold jar out right there. I kind of just keep this out of the way so that, you know, it's kind of just inconspicuous because it is a part of the game that you technically need. So what we do is we're going to take this gold jar. Hopefully it doesn't, I don't lose it. Didn't lose it. Hell yeah, brother. And then we just bring them back over here, set them right here. Oh, set it right here on this deal. And hey guys, you guys ready to see the gold wave for the last couple of days? Oh, hell yeah, dude. Holy crap, look at all that gold. It's kind of just like that, so. Then when we get done with it, after the gold wave, we go take it over here, drop it right there, and we just made $22,000. So just to wrap everything up, I apologize if this video was really fucking long, dude, but there's really no quick way to explain all this. That's about the fastest I could get it done. If there's any other questions that you guys have, I'll try to answer it. But if you guys are going to get into this mining stuff and you're going to run this wash plant and all this stuff, there's people that are way more knowledgeable about it than me. I'm just some stupid ass truck driver that stumbled into this, and I'm doing my best. So I would definitely go join like the Realistic Gaming Crew's Discord. I'll give you their website, link it in the description. I'm going to link all of the websites that I get my mods from. And, you know, don't fucking yell at me if you can't find something, because like I said, I'm not going to give you guys a download folder only to have it kick me in the nutsack later. So appreciate you guys for watching this video. As always, we will catch you on the next one. Later.